Well, it happened again.
Yes,
another 54-yarder. What is going on?
Oh my God. It's the kind of game you can only love if you win, Chris. And when you lose that game, it hurts like double. Not just because of the rivalry, but because you just sat through that just to see your team fall apart at the end.
They paid Mark Gronowski $2 million to come here and lead that drive, down 3 in the final minute, and it was a shit show. Back-to-back sacks, absolute disaster. Cyclones have clinched it. They have won in Ames for the first time since I worked here in Des Moines, and I was in my 20s.
2011.
It's been 14 years.
Jeez.
Iowa State wins it by 3 on a Kyle Conradi field goal. And we are here live at Sweet Caroline's.
Of course we are. It's exactly where I want to be right now, Chris.
They have started playing Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, they sure have. Hey, to the victor go the spoils. I mean, this is what happens when you play the way Iowa played for much of that game, played conservatively. Oh, this hurts, man. This... Again, these kind of games are the worst to lose because you kind of build up your belief as the game moves on. And you start to think, okay, this could happen. My team could get this done. And then it falls short at the end. And it's like, I just sat there for 3.5 hours and watched that. That's what I spent my Saturday doing.
You just feel sick watching the whole game, too.
You do.
You feel sick. And you're waiting for that one play that's going to change everything.
Yep.
Was it going to be the interception in the first half for Iowa State? Was it going to be that muffed punt that I think was controversial that Iowa ended up getting? No, it was the tipped pass near midfield on Iowa State's final drive, tipped up in the air by Townsend into the hands of Gabe Burkle.
Gabe Burkle came up huge in that final drive. And as you said, it's the same story as last year. When Iowa State needed big plays, they were able to find those plays, able to do just enough to eke out a win. These games are always close. They're always tough. It's always about who's able to kind of make that extra play. That Gabe Burkle play was huge. Made a couple of nice catches. Iowa State has a kicker for the first time in our lifetimes.
Yeah, how about that? Better tight ends and better special teams on this day.
And then when Iowa got the ball back with 1:45 left, you and I said to each other, this is why you pay a guy $2 million. And it's inexcusable to take 2 sacks on that final drive.
And it's not all on Gronowski.
No,
I mean, that was a breakdown all over the place. But we're going to get into it here. Unfortunately, tweeted 30 minutes ago, it's either going to be a great Instant Iowa.
I hate being here.
Or a really bad Instant Iowa.
Don't want to be here right now.
And I get the feeling that Cyclone fans are going to love this show. Hawkeye fans, we will commiserate with you as we get rolling on Instant Iowa, presented by Fareway.
We know that carrying your groceries out to your car seems a bit old school. That saying hello and asking about your day feels like a thing of the past. Being best at fresh, it's not just a fad. Serving high-quality meat at affordable prices? Talk about a throwback. But at Fareway, that's kind of our thing. Because some things never go out of style. Friendly at Fareway. It's more than just a name.
It's time for Instant Iowa, presented by Fareway Meat Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are your hosts, Chris Hassel and Andrew Downs.
There's no place we'd rather be less than Sweet Caroline's in Ames, Iowa, after the Hawkeyes just lost another last-second heartbreaker to the Cyclones. Chris Hassel, Andrew Downs, Aiden Wyatt producing. We are live at Sweet Caroline's, and we're just kidding. It's so grateful to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just got some easy Eddies from Big Grove. Now we're supposed to be doing our victory beers from Big Grove.
It's crying your beer instead of victory beer.
Win you drink, lose you drink, right?
That's right, absolutely. In heaven there is no beer.
Cheers. It's still a Hawkeye state.
You're goddamn right. even if all scores point the other direction. It's getting harder and harder to make that claim, Chris. It's been rough out here. It's been rough.
Well, let's kind of peel the curtain back here on this 16-13 Iowa State win that was clinched by the defense thanks to back-to-back sacks on Mark Gronowski. And Iowa State went ahead thanks to a really nice drive that Rocco Beck led down the field, and then Kyle Conradi kicks a 54-yarder and kicks us right in the balls for a second straight year. But
Who'd have thought Iowa State would have a kicker who could kick a further than 50-yard field goal 2 years in a row to beat Iowa?
Hey, in the 63-yarder last week.
Jesus Christ.
Iowa State moves to 3-0, and they're undoubtedly going to jump into the top 15 next week. Iowa goes to 1-1, and all kinds of questions. But we watched the first half of this game from the press box at Jack Trice Stadium. We were there, had that vantage point, and then left at halftime to get over here to Sweet Caroline's and watched the second half here with a great crowd.
Yeah, man.
There were maybe 25% Iowa fans here making some noise. Someone puked in the urinal over there. I think it was an Iowa fan that was, feeling like us right now. But this game, kind of the script of the whole thing, when you look at it as a whole, the way it laid out was like a prototypical Kirk Ferentz game.
Absolutely.
And it was setting up to be, all right, one mistake, one play away from the Iowa State, despite playing the better game, Iowa winning this game. And it did not happen. And here's the difference, in my opinion. They've got Rocco Beckton, we don't.
You're right. And Iowa hasn't had a legitimately good quarterback in way too long. And Mark Gronowski had a better game today. At times he looked good.
Yeah, he was better. We thought he would be better, and he was.
He wasn't, though.
But not good enough.
He wasn't
the
guy that you expected to get. In the run game, he looked very good at times. I liked some of the plays. I will say, throughout most of the first half, the play calling was
terrible.
The
start of that game was sickening, and it was exactly what I thought it would be, too.
They wouldn't even let him throw the ball. I mean, it was run, and
only
then
on 3rd and long.
It's 3rd and 6, and you have to pass. And at least twice in the first half, they threw it and completed it on 3rd down for literally 1 yard fewer than they needed. But yeah, no, it's uninspired. It is the same old. And now we sit here, Chris, with 2 games in front of us where even if Iowa looks good offensively, even if Mark Gronowski does throw the ball well and Iowa's receivers make good catches and put up big stats.
Who is it? UMass and then at Rutgers, right?
Yeah, you're not going to feel good about any of them.
Nope.
You don't have another opportunity to feel good about this team until the Indiana game 3 weeks from now. And even then, who knows what that's going to look like. And so that's the dangerous part of losing this Cyhawk game is you don't have another opportunity to prove yourself. And the narrative around Mark Gronowski, this offense, Tim Lester, and then especially Kirk Ferentz is going to get pretty ugly over these next couple of weeks.
We talked with Scott Docterman yesterday. You were at Buffalo Wild Wings with him. I was at Big Grove with him. And he said if Gronowski has another performance like he did the week before, that it will be time to start talking about the guy behind him, Hank Brown.
Yeah.
We mentioned it was better, but 13 for 24, 83 yards. He's played 2 games as an Iowa Hawkeye, the quote-unquote $2 million man, and he has, 125 passing yards?
Right, and is 1-1.
He rushed for 37 yards on 16 attempts. I wondered what the Mark Gronowski rush total would look like compared to the passing total. I thought it might be similar. He had more rushing attempts than completions. 16 rushing attempts, 13 completions.
And again, the hard thing about being an Iowa fan, is really throughout these last few seasons, Chris, is every loss and every performance like this from the offense, it just brings up these big picture questions, right? And it brings up all of this baggage.
It's deja vu all over again.
Exactly. And, I heard Chad Lysico, who's on Legends and Listeners, say this week, the measured approach to this quarterback situation is the correct approach. But it also gets old for fans who have lived this. You have to have the context of the whole thing. And the years and years where we've seen Iowa's offense sputter and fail. And it's not like it was in 2008 or 2015, where maybe the offense wasn't super inspired. Maybe it was a similar version that we're seeing now, but it was more competent, and Iowa was able to win those games. We're now seeing a boring offense that loses games. And that's just a combination you can't have anymore. And so, again, you don't want to, lay out the entire season in front of us after week 2. But with the context we have, it's hard not to look ahead and say, man, nothing has changed. We're going to live through another season just like this where the offense is frustrating week in and week out.
Yeah, because if you I've got the stat broadcast up right now, and Aiden's been popping some of that up. If you just erase the M. Gronowski there and put C. McNamara or D. Hill or S. Petrus, you would expect to see the exact same numbers. So the quarterbacks change.
Yes.
But it's the only thing that changes is the name. And honestly, I'm going to put this game less on Gronowski and more on Kirk Ferentz.
Yes.
I thought that the
by
play calling did not put Mark Gronowski in a spot to succeed.
This is the thing, and bypassing the offensive coordinator, Tim Lester, because I wrote this in my notes in the first half. I
don't believe that was a Tim Lester game. I believe it was a Kirk Ferentz game.
We were told as fans, and have been told for over a year now, that Tim Lester has control of this offense, that Kirk Ferentz, maybe for the first time, has allowed Tim Lester to come in and kind of take things over. That's clearly not the case.
I'm not buying it.
Clearly not the case. And if it is, it's because Kirk Ferentz hired a clone of himself in Tim Lester, which I don't believe.
I don't believe it either.
And so you're exactly right. You hop right over Gronowski, you hop right over Tim Lester. The loss today is squarely on the shoulders of Kirk Ferentz. And it's ironic because this would have been one of the great wins of his career, not because of who they beat or how it looked, but because it would have given him the 206th win and the record. And to get that in a trophy game, in a rivalry game on the road against a team that you've owned at their house would have been poetic. Now they're going to go home and beat a bad UMass team. It's going to be an underwhelming, hey, Kirk Ferentz's 206th win. It's not going to mean anything. There was more riding on this game than just a win or a loss. Again, now you have an outlook of the season, and you have to really kind of change how you feel about this Iowa team, because all of the hope and optimism that some of us, myself included, put in Mark Gronowski and a different looking offense, it's clearly not there.
Mr. Apen comments that Lester called a terrible game, and I agree. If he was the one that willingly made all those calls, and it was all his idea, that was a bad game for him. I just think after that first performance from Gronowski, he was so shaky in week 1 against Albany. I think Kirk Ferentz basically put handcuffs on Lester and Gronowski and said, we are going to try to jam this ball down their throat and not take chances with Mark Gronowski throwing the ball downfield. What they did it one time? One time, and you know what happened? They got a PI and a first down.
Yes, you get a good result on 3rd and 2, which, by the way, 3rd and 2 in the third quarter isn't the time I would elect them to take their first shot. But you got a positive result there. And then, the Kirk Ferentz way, I think now in hindsight, you have to look back at that field goal to tie the game at 13, where Iowa had 4th and 1.
I hated that call. I believe it was 4th and 2.
4th and 2.
You had
right about the 20. I don't remember exactly where they were. It was not a long field goal.
I wrote that down in my notes, AD, as
when your
as
defense
a potential
was playing as well as
defining
they were.
play.
Absolutely. And again, at the time, I even said to you, hey, this is Kirk Ferentz. He's not going to screw this. He's going to take the points and tie this game. That's how he plays.
It was 13-10.
Okay.
13-10. It's 4th and 2 in the red zone. You have Mark Gronowski at quarterback. You have a running back at quarterback now.
Yes.
Get the goddamn first down. Don't kick a field goal to tie this game. Go for it.
You kick a field goal
and you have him,
and you allow Rocco Beck to beat you, and that's exactly what happened. And you're right. It's the conservative play calling. It's the conservative, just overall disposition when it comes to football of Kirk Ferentz that worked for a long time.
Yeah, and it's still going to work now and again.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
They will win more
Iowa
games
State
than
does?
they lose.
Iowa State's got a quarterback with an it factor, a great quarterback who wins mother effing games.
Yeah.
And they win
Period.
close games.
This is now, 7 of their last 8 one-score games? 8 of 9?
8 of their last 9
one-score
Iowa
games?
State's won.
That's incredible.
Iowa is now...
That used to be us.
Iowa has now lost 4 of their last 5 one-score games.
This was in some ways a bizarro Cy-Hawk game. The world has turned upside down when it comes to Iowa and Iowa State. And part of that is a credit to Matt Campbell and the program he's built. We gave him a lot of shit, especially early on, for like the coach speak, the way he talks. Hey, I'm building men, not players, and that we're family. And the record doesn't matter. It matters that we're together, and all this kind of BS. But what it has done is build a program very similar to Iowa's, but better right now. And
I firmly believe they were the better team coming into this game.
Yeah, and they looked like the better team for the majority of this game.
Yes, they did.
But it did look like Iowa was going to be able to do what Iowa has done so many times under Kirk Ferentz and muddy the game up and slow it down and find a way to lean on the other team just enough and make that final play that you said we were waiting for, the defensive stop, the turnover, whatever that play was, make that final play. They've been able to do that so many times in the Ferentz era. But it's been, 5-6 years since they've really been able to put games like that together consistently?
This is 10 consecutive losses against ranked teams.
That's unacceptable.
10 straight.
That's unacceptable.
Dating back to 2021 Penn State. It is, and they're going to be a lot more ranked teams on their schedule the rest of the way, and we will be with them along the way. But if things don't change with the way that they allow Mark Gronowski to run this offense, they're not going to beat a ranked team.
And maybe this will spark some sort of change. We saw a year ago in this game when Iowa was unable to score inside the red zone or right at the goal line. Coming out of that game is when they made the change to Brendan Sullivan being the goal line quarterback, really inside like the 10, 15-yard line. They brought Brendan Sullivan in, which is a thing Kirk Ferentz didn't want to do. That's so anti-Kirk Ferentz. So maybe this is a thing that sparks some level of change. But again, we're now staring at like 3 straight weeks where even if you win, you don't feel much better about this team. You don't think this team that we saw today in Jack Trice Stadium can go and compete with Penn State or Oregon or USC or maybe even Nebraska and Indiana. And, I don't believe in Wisconsin, but it gets dark very quickly when you start to look at this pessimistically. I try to be an optimist. It's hard to be an optimist after a game like that.
And honestly, even if Iowa had somehow pulled that game out late, I still wouldn't feel great about the future of this season with what's going on with this offense.
It's just the same. It's Groundhog Day again. It's the same damn thing.
This is Instant Iowa, presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Chris Hassel, Andrew Downs. We are live at Sweet Caroline's in Ames, where unfortunately we have a lot of happy Iowa State fans that are having a victory pop and a victory meal here. We're going to put it in order in a little bit. We're going to eat after the show because we felt so sick in the fourth quarter we could not eat before the program. But I'm getting a pimento cheese sandwich here.
Oh, nice.
This is a perfect opportunity to try out our new segment on Instant Iowa, and it's not going to be easy. It's our Ackerman Plumbing Flush It.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ackerman. Shout out to Corey and Stacy and Nathan in Iowa City. I know they're feeling the same way that we are today. Ackerman Plumbing, their only residential needs. They're not consumed by all the commercial stuff. They will come. They will help you out. Johnson County and the surrounding areas. Ackerman Plumbing. It's time to flush it. Unfortunately, I don't know how you do. The direction I'm going to go is Mark Gronowski. This game was not on him specifically.
No.
I hope that he is able to get through this because we already know he was so nervous for the Albany game. So excited and proud to be a quarterback in the Big Ten, and at Iowa, he goes out there and has a terrible first game.
Very good. Yeah, we're getting shit talked. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean we would have done the same thing if Iowa.
Oh, absolutely. My God! Can you imagine?
I'd
have my pants off.
I had all my new Iowa gear ready to throw on. You see, I've got the new Instant Iowa hat that AD gave me, but I'm not able to do
Anyway.
that. But for this the flush it
Yeah.
segment,
You want Gronowski
I'm worried
to
about
flush.
him now. Like
I am too, man.
I just what kind of headspace is he going to be in? What are they going to allow him to do? Like they better against UMass. Can we open it up a little bit? UMass is terrible.
The answer is no, right? Like, I mean,
Let him get some confidence going.
I agree. There's no way that's going to happen.
Oh, God.
Iowa will do what they always do. He may throw the ball a little bit more. They may try one or two downfield passes, but it's not going to look much different. And that's like where, again, it's why you get depressed after a game like this, because now, like, the next 3 months lay out ahead of you, and, like, none of this seems fun. It doesn't seem fun. All right, you're flushing Mark. You want Mark Gronowski
I hope he's
to
able
flush.
to flush it. Yeah.
God damn, man, you're right though. Like this, how is he feeling right now?
I bet he feels terrible. I mean, this was what he was paid to come in and do, and he I don't think he was given a fair opportunity to win that game today.
And I love Iowa fans. I'm one of you. We don't treat guys who don't live up to our expectations very well.
No.
I hope he's not on social media. Like, I mean, as interesting as Connor McCaffrey's relationship is with Iowa fans, there's a good amount of it where you see his side of things, right? It's like, it was a little rough go for the McCaffrey family. This is going to be a rough go for Gronowski.
Yeah.
Fans are not going to accept this very well, especially the way they looked in that final drive, and especially now with NIL and how much he's getting paid. My flush is going to be Caden Weechin and the bad game that he had.
I've got a list.
He needs
do you want me to run
flush
down the
it,
list?
and we need to flush, because this is really the first time we've seen him have a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of came onto the scene. He's this spark plug. You're like, oh, man, if they could work him into the offense every time he touches the ball. So he's been this fan favorite. He was a walk-on last year, and he's like an all-American return man. He finally gets his scholarship. You think he's going to work his way into the offense, and he had a bad game today.
I started a list of the issues that he had. Obviously, it started with the unsportsmanlike to start the game on the kick return.
Which is such an
Pushed Iowa back
uncharacteristic
to the
penalty
10.
for Iowa.
And then he stumbled on the interception. And look,
I don't know
if he doesn't stumble, it's probably not a pick. I don't think it's a completion.
No,
but
he
I don't
probably
think
turns
it's a
into
pick.
a defender and breaks that pass up, right? Like, I mean,
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I agree. If he doesn't slip, that's not an interception, and that's Iowa State's biggest play of the game.
He, on a kick return, took the ball out of the end zone and only got back to the 15. Now, I didn't necessarily hate that he did that, because the offense at that time was not doing anything, but he still lost 10 yards trying to do that. He then let a punt bounce in front of him at the 32-yard line, and it ended up backing them all the way up to the 5.
Jesus.
Those things, those are big moments in a game like this.
That hidden yardage in these games is so huge.
And so I like that too.
And then
he's a good player, great guy. He needs to flush this and bounce back.
He also had that punt return late where he tried to scramble. He lost because his total punt returns, one return for -7 yards.
Yeah, that's where he went back to the 5.
Yeah, exactly. He went, because
he let it bounce, and then he picked it up. And
so yeah, I want him to flush that, because it's rough to have that kind of a game in a game like this. And I want us to flush that, because I still believe that Caden Weechin is a good. I don't know if he's a receiver. I don't know if Iowa. Other than Jacob Gill, who was Iowa's best receiver all of last season. We've heard about Reese Vanderzee, but obviously he's been injured. I don't know that Iowa has a legitimate wide receiving threat outside of Jacob Gill. Addison Estrenga.
That was tough to see.
On crutches, ruled out. We haven't heard what that's all about, but that was like the first drive of the game. So Hayden Large made a couple of catches, but Iowa's tight ends have not been a factor so far through 2 games this season.
Look at the difference in Iowa's tight ends compared to Iowa State's, and the way that they run that offense, and Taylor Mauser calls those plays. And they were great in the first half. I know Iowa was able to make some adjustments and shut them down for a bit until that final drive.
And again, this is part of like the bizarro Cyhawk that we're living in right now, where Iowa State has the great tight ends. Iowa State was establishing the run early where Iowa couldn't. Now, that middle of Iowa State's defense opened up a little bit in the second half, and I was able to get some of those yards, but ultimately it wasn't enough. Iowa with those early unforced penalties and bad specialty. Reese Dakin's first punt was awful. It's just until the end of the first half where Iowa State went Iowa State, it really had flipped on its head. And then for much of the third quarter, because Iowa had that long drive, it felt like Iowa had kind of started to control the game.
Yeah.
They forced a three and out.
Back-to-back 16-play scoring drives.
They force a 3 and out after that. It's like, okay, this is the type of game that Iowa usually wins. But so was last year, Chris. And again, that's one of the tough big picture things is now 2 years in a row. Because for so long, we saw Matt Campbell try to beat Kirk Ferentz at Kirk Ferentz's own game. And most of the times when that happens, the other team can't do it. That's why Ferentz has so many wins. And we saw Iowa State playing into this game plan year in and year out. And it's like, why are you trying to beat Iowa at Iowa's own game? Well, 2 years in a row now they have. They've found a way to do it.
And you know what the difference is? They've got Rocco Beck.
That's right. That's right.
He makes winning plays at the end of games. Another fourth quarter game-winning drive. What does that make it now? 7, I believe, in his career? they flashed the graphic right before he took over late in that game.
What does this is an Iowa show. What does Rocco Beck need to do to be above Brock Purdy as Iowa State's greatest
I think you talk to some Iowa State fans right now, and they're going to say he's getting close.
I absolutely think so.
I mean, this was his defining year.
Yes.
There were a few things he needed to do. Cut down on the interceptions, up the completion percentage. Today, 67%. He's up close to 70% on the season, still has not turned the ball over, and he wins effing games.
And this is a guy who 2.5 years ago, none of us had really ever thought about. Hunter Deckers was supposed to be the starting quarterback going into that season.
I wanted J.J. Cole to beat him out, too, because he was a foot taller.
They traded possessions, and Iowa State finds one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 in the pile that they have of quarterbacks. Iowa goes out and pays multiple guys millions of dollars and can't get a goddamn quarterback. What the fuck is wrong with our quarterback evaluation system? What is going on? Why? I mean, because Iowa's doing the things. They're spending the money. They're going into the trade. The things that 6 years ago we would have said wouldn't have happened. That Iowa wouldn't go out and get Michigan's quarterback out of the transfer portal because Kirk Ferentz wouldn't do that. He did that, and they paid the money. They went and got the greatest FCS quarterback of all time. They paid the money. They did the thing. They got a new offensive coordinator. We got rid of Brian Ferentz. We brought in this guy, this quarterback whisperer who was a great quarterback himself. None of it matters. None of it changes. It's so goddamn frustrating.
And we're always led to believe by everything we hear out of Iowa City all offseason that it is going to change.
Yes.
And it never does.
I mean, how much hype was there around this wide receiving core coming into this season?
Yeah, Gill was the only receiver that had more than one catch in this game.
And he's the only one who looks like a legitimate Division I wide receiver. Now, Reese Vanderzee, by all accounts, had a great offseason.
Yeah, it's too bad he got hurt.
And was coming into the year, poised to be that number one guy. And we'll see maybe when he comes back, whenever he comes back, it changes everything. I've been sold that bill of goods too many times. Shame on me, right, if I believe this shit again.
Right. Shame on me, too. This offense only works, AD, when they get it to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Mm-hmm. They cannot convert on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. On those 2 back-to-back scoring drives, here's what they had. They had 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 8, got sacked, but then there was the penalty.
Yes.
They gave Iowa the ball at the 1 or 2 yard line, and they scored a touchdown. The next drive, where they had 16 plays and ended up kicking a field goal, they had 3rd and 2, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 before they decided to. I think that was the drive where they kicked the field goal instead of going for it and trying to take the lead.
And the entire first half, they were unable to get into that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 position because they were just
those first
running
3 drives.
And for whatever reason, Xavier Williams wasn't in those first couple of possessions. TJ Washington just running right into Dominic Orange, right into the middle of that Iowa State defense where they knew exactly what Iowa was going to do. It was so frustrating those first couple of quarters, really until that last drive of the second quarter, where I was able to kind of move the ball a little bit, get a little help at the end, and score a touchdown. It was so frustrating to just watch the offense do the same thing over and over and over.
Instant Iowa presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery.
I need to do something to make myself feel better here, man.
I'm like, drink a little bit more of that beer you got there from
Easy Eddie.
from Big Grove.
There you go, easy.
Iowa Corn Growers Association is a great partner of ours. Pump it up with ethanol at the pump, and you're helping to support Iowa farmers when you do that as well. Iowa, the #1 corn growing state, and every choice you make can support Iowa farmers. I want to go back to that last drive for Iowa State when they had a 3rd and 2. Rocco Becht, it was a QB sprint out to the left.
Yeah.
Becht picks up a really good block from Carson Hansen. And then he does that awkward slide. And it was a rule of first down. And can I preface this by saying, I'm not saying this is why Iowa State won the game.
The refs didn't lose the game
The
for Iowa.
refs were, I think, had bad calls on both sides of this thing.
Yeah, I think it was even.
I hated the muff punt call because I thought that should have been a penalty on Iowa for getting in the way and impeding that return. They picked up that flag, and then, of course, you just have to go by who did it hit first, and it did hit an Iowa State player first. On that slide, though, if you go back and you look at it, and this is why I thought they would overturn it, if they ruled that a slide, that would have been short of the marker, and it would have been 4th and inches.
Right. Which they had done to Gronowski in the first half.
Correct.
He had slid, and they called him down when he started the slide.
And that would have been the case had they ruled that a slide, but they apparently didn't, because it's where the ball is as soon as you start the slide. And there are clear shots that he was short of the first down when he kind of started doing that, but it was like a weird thing.
Right.
A lot of times you slide, your feet kind of go out. His went, like, one went back, the other didn't.
Yeah.
And they end up picking up that first down, and the rest is history, because that's the drive that ends with Conradi hitting a 54-yard field goal. I think that everything that happened today, officiating-wise, was probably a wash.
I agree.
I think it wasn't a great game. And Aiden, thank you for getting that picture up. It's the ball's clearly in front of that yellow line. But they must have ruled that was not a slide, which it's a tough call because it was a really awkward way to go down for Becht. It wasn't as simple as the Gronowski. That was a clear slide.
Yes, absolutely.
They must not have ruled that Becht was completely giving himself up.
Where were they on the field at this point? Do you know?
Backed up. That was back on about I believe the 20-yard line of
that
Iowa
likely
State.
would have been a punt.
That's what I'm wondering. What would they do in that situation with, I don't know, 6 minutes to go?
In a tie game, I think you have to punt with how bad Iowa's offense.
I would want them, if I was a fan, to go for it. But I think you're right. That's so far away.
Yeah.
That they might have had to.
You put Iowa in field goal position if you don't get that to lose the game. I think they punt there.
And Dude Liberty brings up a good point, because there's a lot of people saying he's not sliding. He's clearly not sliding. Well, if he gets hit there, Dude Liberty says the flags come out. And I think he's right.
Yeah.
I do think.
I think that's a good point.
I would have ruled that a slide and brought that ball back to 4th and inches. That's what I would have ruled. Again, not saying that's why Iowa State won the game and Iowa lost this game, because there were bad calls that hurt and benefited both teams. This is Instant Iowa. I believe this is going to be a record-setting show. I know, because Iowa State fans, they don't watch if Iowa wins. They're watching this, and they're loving every second of it. We've got over 10,000 now live. Iowa State wins 16-13.
Enjoy, Cyclone fans. Because this does suck.
The bartender just came up to me and said Hassel needs more tea.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. Yep.
That son of a bitch. You know what? A game like this might lead me to finally say, yeah, I got to do it. I've got to do it.
Absolutely. How do you think I can hold myself together so well here, Chris?
I don't know if you are.
No, I'm
You're
not.
kind of honestly, AD. I didn't. You are closer to how I normally am.
Yeah.
Than your even keeled.
Yeah. No, I'm
glass half full self that you normally
There's
are.
only so many times you can see this, right?
Right.
Like, there's only so much. It's kind of like Iowa basketball under Fran McCaffrey, where I held out for a very long time. I tend to give the programs, the coaches, the teams that I like a lot of leeway. I tend to try to be optimistic and positive, but there comes a time where a line is crossed, and like you just have to accept the reality of it. And that's how I feel right now with Iowa football. And I don't want to like throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not calling for Kirk Ferentz's head, but clearly whatever they're doing isn't changing anything. And I think we all understand that a change needs to be made. Something has to change. What that is, I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out.
You know what needs to change? They need to let Mark Gronowski do what he said he wanted to do at media availability this week.
This
I want to go out there and play.
Yeah.
Do an F it mindset. We're F it. We're going to
And
go out there. We're going to sling it around.
And that's not what this was today.
You knew it wasn't going to be that. You knew. I bet as soon as they heard that he said that, they were like, "This is Iowa.
You goddamn.
This is Iowa. We
dare
don't
you."
do that. We're not slinging anything. We're not. No. You're going to turn around. You're going to hand the ball off, and then you're going to run it 16 times yourself and take some hits.
Takes a lot of hits, man. Takes a lot of hits.
How do we find a player of the game today? Because that's what's next from Wyckoff Heating and Cooling. It was great to see some of the good folks from Wyckoff come out to Eggs and Jam yesterday for our morning show on Two Guys.
You guys had such a cool turnout. That was fun.
That was great.
That was.
And then Big Grove in the afternoon was really good. And you guys were at Buffalo Wild Wings.
We've
and
had a
Murph and
couple
Andy
of
had a
really
great
good
show
days.
in Polk City, and you were there for that.
This has been cool.
It's our Wyckoff Heating and Cooling Peace of Mind player of the game. I'll tell you right now, I do not have peace of mind.
Nope.
For all your heating and cooling needs, contact the locally family-owned team at Wyckoff Heating and Cooling. Let me just look at the stats right now. I mean, does anything jump out here? It's not Gronowski. Jazz Patterson, 11 carries, 60 yards, was the leading rusher. Jacob Gill, 5 catches, 52 yards, was the leading receiver on 8 targets. I honestly, maybe
Drew Stevens.
It's Stevens with a couple of field goals. TJ Hall, maybe he was better than I thought he would be. He made some really big plays.
That was
3 pass breakups he's credited with. I'm going to go TJ Hall because I didn't think he would be as good as he was in some of those really tough one-on-one situations.
And Iowa State really wasn't able to take that deep shot or to hit anything big on Iowa. And that was a credit to the Iowa's secondary, which we were
worried
had
about.
questions about, right? And so, you're absolutely right. Rocco Beck throws such a good ball. And so, to have them break some of those up.
Some of those balls were perfect.
Perfect.
But Iowa was in the right position to break it up.
Exactly.
And so, Hall was a part of some of those.
I think that's right. Jacob Gill's probably the other guy I would circle. But, I mean, that's really starting to stretch here. Like Jazz Patterson, you could say, well, I mean, he's third on the depth chart, and he had a good game, and da-da-da-da-da. But again, you're starting to stretch here looking for a player of the game of any sort for Iowa
Xavier
right now.
Williams, 7 carries, 26 yards. Why did we not see much of him? We didn't see him out there at all the first couple series.
No.
He had a run for 9 yards. Look, when you look at it as a whole, Jazz Patterson did perform better. He averaged 5.5 yards a pop. But to only get it to Williams 7 times after the game he had, I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you would have told me Iowa was only going to rush for 131 yards, I would have said they're not even going to have a chance to win this game late.
Because you didn't think they would hold Iowa State to 134 passing yards.
Right.
I mean, Iowa's defense played well enough to win today. How many?
I didn't think they could keep Iowa State under 20 points.
I didn't either.
And they did. They kept Iowa State and Rocco Beck in this offense to 16 points, and you still lost the game.
It's Groundhog Day again.
They only scored one
over and over
touchdown.
And this is a good offense. They're going to put up a lot of points this season. That was a great performance by Iowa's defense. And I've already seen a couple of people in the comments, and I get it. Like, let's say that is a top 15 Iowa State team. You lost on a late field goal on the road to a really good team. How can you be that pissed about it, right?
Oh, we can be.
We can be, and it's getting
Because
to the
all
point
you
where you have
needed
to be.
was
Because
just a little bit from Gronowski down the field.
Yes.
And when he was given the chances, he wasn't able to convert. But we don't believe he was given enough of a chance in this game.
And game after game after game against ranked teams, 10 in a row now. You
10
said?
in a row. And how's this? This is going to be funny. This is the first time.
I bet it's going to be funny. I'm
right,
ready to laugh.
All right, listen to this.
I can't wait.
This is from our CBS Sports
Real
research
knee
team.
slapper, I bet.
Iowa's lost 10 straight against ranked teams. This is the first time they've covered against one.
Oh, I won my bet.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
They
that.
covered the 3.5.
I got Iowa at 3.5.
There we go.
Hey, all right.
Mini victories
Easy Eddies on me, baby.
on this day of loss.
Easy Eddies on
Here
me.
in Ames.
No, but again, it's because no matter how close they've gotten in some of these games, when you win none of them, you really can't hang your hat on it. When you win half of them, you can say, hey, Iowa plays good teams, and sometimes they beat them.
That used to be the narrative.
It used to be the narrative. It was like what we survived on.
You hung
for
your
a
hat
while.
on that.
Absolutely. But when you, not only when you don't win most of them, when you win none of them, your hat falls to the fucking ground.
Here's my hat.
I like it. I like the hat.
I put it on over the headset. How does that look? Does that look good?
Hilarious.
I was really looking forward to starting the show today after an Iowa win. And I was going to say, you know, AD, you're in your stuff, great. This is a very important week for Iowa everywhere. We're trying to show, you know, we are a real legitimate media entity. We're keeping it classy.
Yeah. We only drop a few F-bombs.
Screw that. And put on the hat. And I've got a Hawkeye pullover over here I was going to put on. But I just, with the way that game went and Iowa State winning again at the Horn, Kyle Conradi.
Wow.
54-yarder last year to beat Iowa.
Jeez.
63-yarder last week and another 54-yarder this week. I mean, that guy is going to live in Cyclone lore.
Absolutely. And he's going to make some money in the NFL. This is the first legitimately good kicker Iowa State has had in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I
when you've got a leg
believe
like that and you can be accurate, you're going to get a shot at the next level. Because not many people can. I mean, the guy made a 63-yarder on that same field. Insane. By the way, I blame part of this loss on that field and that horrible natural grass that jumped up and bit Caden Weegan on that out route.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turf monster got him. The real turf monster. That wouldn't have happened at Kinnick Stadium.
No.
He doesn't slip. And that pass is not picked off.
And at a farming school.
And Iowa wins this game.
At a farming school. Honestly, if that pass is not picked off, Iowa probably wins this game. That's probably the play of the game. It leads to the only touchdown for Iowa State.
You're right.
It was the biggest momentum shift in the first half.
And I also think...
And I don't think it's on Mark Gronowski, which is why it's weird to both be super disappointed in Mark Gronowski and place very little of the blame of this loss on him. Because both things are true. Well, he's trying to get us some food.
Oh, he's ordering us more booze?
I hope so.
I was worried that we got knocked off the air or something. Thank you so much for everybody that's tuning in to Instant Iowa.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of become a pastime for Iowa State fans to tune in after a shitty Iowa game.
Yes, it has.
We welcome all types, just like here at Sweet Caroline's. They welcomed us, Iowa fans, with open arms here today.
We do appreciate it.
It's great to be here. Beautiful day. I was so happy to be able to attend my first Cyhawk game in 13 years. The last one was 2012 in Iowa City, and I think that was one of those really shitty games. I think that was the one. Was that the one where Jake Knott, there was a tip pass?
Yes.
And like Jake Knott intercepted it, and Iowa State won like 9-6.
I think you're
and
right.
Iowa was wearing these horrible throwback uniforms that looked like crap that they never wore again. The last time I was here for a Cyhawk game, was a 3-point loss for Iowa, 44-41, the last time Iowa lost an Ames. So 14 years down the drain.
Your fault.
Yeah,
no, but I mean, yeah.
I need to stop going to these games.
Beautiful day. I mean, the tailgating in Ames is legitimately cool. Big time pregame atmosphere. Like it felt like a real big time game. Shout out to Iowa State for all of their pregame stuff is cool. A little less rattle in the press box would be nice.
And turn the air up a little bit.
Oh man. That sun was coming. It was like
Andy and I had to strip down to our undershirts.
It was like a magnifying glass.
And I didn't think like my undershirt was going to be seen. It's a shirt Jamie would be pissed because my shirt is a Sazerac shirt and it has a picture of a Sazerac on it, which is a cocktail.
It's a great cocktail.
Had Jamie seen me in the press box, I bet he would have kicked my ass out.
He'd have been like, "You got to get to the Souk Up end zone."
Did you see?
You can only drink over there.
Did you see early third quarter? They zoomed in. Like Iowa was starting a drive, and the thing was like half empty.
I bet Matt Van Winkle was pissed. It was good. It was good to leave a Cyclone game at halftime. I feel like a true Iowa State. I've had the true Iowa State fan experience.
We left the game at half with everybody else. They were going out to their cars, probably grilling some Fareway meats at halftime, throwing back a few pops.
Oh man, Iowa State's a pretty good team.
Iowa State's a really good team.
They really are. They're going to cause a lot of trouble in the Big 12. I don't think they're like a 12-0 team.
I'm really impressed.
But that's a team that's going to scare a lot of people. They're going to win a lot of games this year, man. That's a good team.
From a Matt Campbell narrative perspective, there's another one quashed.
Huge win.
He finally beat Iowa.
Andy made the case with you guys yesterday on two guys, and then also on Murph and Andy that, like, obviously short of the really lofty things that are out there, a Big 12 championship, a playoff berth, a national championship.
The next thing is winning a Big 12 championship.
He has now ticked off every other thing, every lower thing you can have. He's beaten Iowa in both places. Was it Jake Brenn last night on Hawks on Tap was saying, he beat every Big 12 team home and away. The only ones he hasn't now are the Arizona schools, but he hasn't really had an opportunity to do that. Yeah. But Iowa was one of those schools. He hadn't beat home and away yet, and now he ticks that off. And again, the way he built this program and the way it has come together, the depth that they have, the confidence they have, the ability for their third-string quarterback to 2.5 years later be a Heisman hopeful is just so infuriating. When Iowa goes out and spends $2 million on a guy who won't get rid of the ball, and I'm not smart enough.
He is holding on to the ball.
I'm not smart enough of a football mind to know if it's all on him or if it's all on the receivers or if it's all on play calling or what the combination of that is. But he holds on to the ball forever.
It is a combination of all three, but you're right.
I want to see so often. I want to see once where he takes a 3-step drop,
timing,
and confidently passes the ball to wherever the hell it's supposed to be going. Like
Rocco Beck does almost every play.
Absolutely. But every time Gronowski's back there and then he's feeling the pocket, and he does a good job of feeling out the pocket. He does a good job of making positives out of negative plays by using his legs. But is nobody open? And if nobody is open, what is the problem there? Again, it's just over and over. The Iowa passing game is so bad. It is bad.
You were looking for a word. You were going through the thesaurus. You know what? It's just bad. It's just bad.
There's no other way. It's just bad.
But honestly,
I don't know
it's
who
worse
it's
than
on
that.
most.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
It's pathetic.
It's why they lose most of the games they lose.
Yep. And we're not asking for much, are we?
No.
We're really not.
Because, again, as always, this team is built in a way where the defense is good enough to win a lot of games. The special teams are good enough to win a lot of games. The offensive line and the running game, good enough to win a lot of games. But you're going to need a passing game to win a lot of games, and I would doesn't even have a competent passing game.
Hawkeye fans in the comments, I'd like to know, how are you feeling? Drop a comment. I know we've got a lot coming in. We can't see them all. Aiden's been doing a good job popping some of them up.
There's hundreds.
I think we might be hitting the 1,000 mark in the show. It's really, really disheartening because it's not even a good product to watch.
That's the thing. Games like this are okay
Like,
if you win.
That was an excruciating game to
Yes.
watch.
Yes. They're okay if you win. If you're winning 10 games with Deacon Hill and every game looks like that, it's not fun, but you can stomach it because you're winning.
Right.
When you start to lose, it all collapses. It's all built on pillars of sand. And you start to lose these games, man, and it all falls apart. And again, it's you can't even react to it as though you just lost one game. You have to now react to it as though this offense is broken, has been broken, and there's no fix in sight. And that it's a tough place to be as fans. We've been there for several years now, where every loss, it feels like the world is ending. And then you win a couple of games, and you look a little better, and you get a little hope, and you feel okay, and then you play a good team, and whether it looks like this or whether it looks like Ohio State kicking the shit out of you, you lose the game, and all of those questions come back, and they're all valid, and they're all legitimate.
You got number 23 Indiana on September 27th. Then you have to go to Wisconsin. Then you've got Penn State at home. Minnesota, that's like the one game I'm looking at. That Michigan State is, they'll probably win that game.
Right.
But then it's Oregon at USC. I hate that game. At home against Michigan State and then at Nebraska. I mean, Jesus. What? Look, I had Iowa losing this game. And I have them go 8-4.
Right.
But I did not think that the passing game would be like this again. And if it continues like this, there's 6 wins on the schedule? Maybe? I think you're going to...
Maybe.
You're going to beat UMass and Rutgers and get to 3.
And you're assuming the defense is going to play at a top 15 in the country level, right? Like you're assuming the running game is going to stay healthy and the offensive line is going to be able to open up holes. When you're even looking at 6-7 wins, you're making a lot of assumptions. And now you can throw the passing game will be better assumption right out the window. And again, it gets bleak really freaking quickly.
I must have a scowl on my face because people keep saying they've never seen me look this dejected. You know what really pisses me off looking at this schedule is that Iowa plays UMass at 7:30
oh my God.
Eastern time. Is that 6:30 Central, I assume? I assume that's a 6:30 local time game. My computer's saying 7:30. It's on East Coast time.
Yeah, it means
we're going to have to – can we pre-record Instant Iowa?
Sure.
Next week?
Well, let's do it right. As soon as we get off here, we'll just do it now because we know what it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, Gronowski looked a little better.
Yeah, he looked better.
They won by
they beat
4 scores.
Terrible team. Yeah. A night game. This UMass lost to Temple 42-10 at home.
But again, it's why losing this game is so dangerous from a fan perspective, from like a narrative perspective. It's
the same thing. Remember what happened last year? This derailed the whole goddamn thing.
That's exactly right. And you don't have another opportunity to feel better about this team for several weeks. And it feeds itself. And you know these guys are paying attention. And we clearly have a guy in Mark Gronowski who isn't as mentally tough as maybe we hoped he would be. And again, it gets bleak quickly. But hey, maybe everything will turn out okay. Maybe Hank Brown will come in, Chris. Maybe they'll make the switch.
But here's the problem. Bring in Hank Brown, he still has the same head coach.
Yeah.
He still has the same obstacles that every other Iowa quarterback has had.
That is where we're getting to, isn't it?
So that's the problem.
Yeah, that is where we're getting to. It's to the point where we've now run this experiment by changing this one variable several times. We've even changed the offensive coordinator variable.
And I like Tim Lester.
I do too.
But I think if he had full reign,
he clearly doesn't. We were told he does. We were told he would. He obviously doesn't.
What I wouldn't give to just get him in, like, what's going on here?
Right.
Are you really?
Yeah. Is this what you thought it was?
Yeah.
What were you told? What is your experience? Are you as frustrated by this as the rest of us.
Well,
hey, how about how long that game took at times? Thankfully, Iowa had those like long drives and really kind of move things along the way Iowa typically does.
Back-to-back 16-play drives.
The reviews and commercials in that game.
Brutal.
Oh, my God.
And it's so much worse when you're there, because when you're there, you're locked in on that game.
Yeah.
If you're at home, you might have the quad box working. You flip it over to Baylor SMU or whatever, and it's not that big a deal.
Even here at the bar, they put on like music during the commercials and things. But you're right, when you're there,
it's tough.
There's nothing going on.
Oh.
Great uniform game. If Iowa State puts I-State on their helmet again, they should all be fired. They should close the university. They finally have a cool helmet.
Yeah, but
they finally have a cool
They
helmet.
do. That's the Cyclone script is great. They have that horrible-looking helmet car, though, with the terrible I-State logo on it. That leads them out onto the field.
How is there no communication there where it's like, hey, this is what our helmet's going to look like?
I think that there was, and I'm pretty sure the athletic department just said, no, it's going to be I-State, even though the football team would like to have the script, obviously. We've had a few great super chats today, some donations. Shay Amos says, yeah, this is getting ridiculous. Jason says, Iowa ruins quarterbacks. And we also have one from QC Hawk. I don't know if that's Quad Cities Hawk. Is he a Quad City guy?
Yeah.
She said, Beth fired one coach who ignored one side of the game. Is it time for her to act on another? This Iowa fan says yes. So,
what's he talking about, Phil Parker?
Referencing the firing of Brian Ferentz.
Right.
I think QC Hawk might be referencing Kirk Ferentz. Maybe only focusing on the defensive side of the ball. Shay also says, what a waste of $1.2 million.
Whatever it was, it
has
not
been
paid
reported.
off.
It has been reported that he's making that he's getting a total of $2 million.
Right.
That's the report. Like, I can't confirm that. I don't know.
No.
But we're going off what has been reported. I will say, talking with Brady Quinn on the way here, he told me that a lot of the reported numbers that quarterbacks are making are way inflated.
Right.
Way inflated from what they actually are. But you know what? It doesn't matter.
No.
It does. Honestly, what I'm pissed off about is that you paid a bunch of money. You brought in this great FCS quarterback, this winning quarterback who can do a bunch of different things. And he's nervous in week one. So you're like, well, we can't trust him week 2 against Iowa State. So we're just going to have to keep the ball on the ground and just hope that break goes our way at the end of the game. Well, you know what? It didn't. You got the tip pass.
Yep.
And pros will always tell you this. Professional football players will say the tip is one of the most important plays in football. Tips and overthrows, you got to get those. That's what they say. Tips and overthrows, you got to get those. As in a defense, you have to intercept those.
Right. It's your opportunity.
Not only was it not intercepted, it was tipped and caught by Iowa State on that winning drive for a first down, and they end up kicking the field goal. AD, we're closing in on an hour here. You have any more thoughts on another shitty Cy-Hawk game? God damn it. We've been doing this 2 years on this show. We still haven't seen an Iowa win in this game.
It's insane.
And it's the same thing. Conradi, 54-yard field goal to win it. And bad quarterback play.
Bad quarterback play. And it's going to be another one of these seasons, Chris, and it's not going to be fun. That's what I'm looking at right now, is you're looking down the barrel of 10 more games that look exactly like this. And sometimes you're going to win, and sometimes you're going to lose, and it's never going to be fun, and it's always going to be frustrating. And the only joy you get is at the end when you win, and the pain you feel when you lose is
You know what's
enormous.
really going to piss me off, AD? It's not just the late-night UMass game.
And then the next Friday,
it's that we're going to get we are going to be gaslit. We are going to be gaslit.
Yes.
After Gronowski has a good performance in this game, that everything's all changed. You know, yeah, of course they're going to let him go. It's against UMass. They're going to let him do more against UMass.
Right.
Will they let him do that against Indiana when Indiana comes into town? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, you're right. I said I don't know. You're right.
No is the answer.
Unless they get down. I thought that's my prediction for how this game would go is they would get down double digits. They did. and that they would then kind of open things up a little bit, let Gronowski go down the field. That just didn't happen. They were able to come back, just kind of methodically working their way down the field, catching a few breaks on penalties. One time they throw downfield before the last play of the game. Yeah, you got to go downfield because it's 4th or 15 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And, of course, that had no chance.
I mean, I'm with stopping short of calling for Kirk Ferentz's head. This does
and we're not
feel
doing
to me.
it.
No, we're not. But it does feel to me the way this last Iowa basketball season felt, where in my mind, trying to be optimistic, trying to be pro.
You try more than a lot of people.
It was, hey, this is the year. If he can prove something this year, doesn't even have to be amazing, but he can prove something to everybody else this year, and the program is on the right track. And about halfway through the season, it became clear that wasn't the case. I went into this season being optimistic about Mark Gronowski and the Tim Lester offense purely based on faith, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Purely based on no evidence, right?
Nope.
Nothing that they've ever done
You're
that
right.
would give me this
This
faith.
is on us.
I believed, and I am now seeing
believing.
that belief disintegrate in front of me.
We no longer believe.
And so now the next question, the next set of questions become very uncomfortable questions.
Like
what the hell is wrong with this program and what actually needs to change to make a change?
There's been one constant. It's Kirk Ferentz.
Absolutely. And
Does a lot of good.
And a change may be the wrong way. Actually, probably, right? Like, I mean, the odds of Iowa hiring a coach that has more success than Kirk Ferentz are not good. The odds are Iowa goes into a Nebraska-like cycle.
Wisconsin.
Where they
Look what happened with Wisconsin.
And I mean, that was maybe the highest
That's the worry.
touted coach in the country.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
I loved the hire when it happened, and it's been a disaster.
And I would have all the faith in the world in Beth Getz, but the odds are you're not going to hire another great coach. And so, but it's getting to a point where you just can't do the same thing over and over again. You have to have a change. You have to take your chances and do something different. And it may be worse, and it may be better, but at least it won't be this. And this has gotten old. This has gotten stale. And coming into this year, I was told, I was promised, and I believed we wouldn't see this again. And here we are. It's the same damn thing.
We were bamboozled.
We were. Hoodwinked. Run amok.
Well, at least one of us feels good, and it's Aiden Wyatt, the Iowa State grad, producing
He's had
the show.
a big old
How
grin
about
on
him,
his face.
Sacklow?
He's had a big old grin
He's
on
had a
his face.
shit-eating grin.
Hey, I want
He
to
was
bring attention.
pretty. He was pretty quiet there in the third quarter.
Someone had a stat. Let me see if I can find it. It was a really good point. Random user. Oh, okay. Now, next year we go back to Iowa City,
Spam.
where Iowa hasn't won the Cyhawks since 2018.
Say that again?
Iowa.
Jesus, is that
Game
true?
goes back to Iowa City next year.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
where Iowa hasn't won since 2018.
They didn't
That's
play
a
in
totally
2020.
different.
Wow.
They didn't play
Right.
in 2020,
Yeah,
and then
that's a-
they've lost the last two.
Totally flipping the script of this year. Wild to
Again,
think
we
about.
live in a bizarro world when it
Bizarro.
comes to Cyhawk, and now Iowa State is the team with a top 15 ranking and a Heisman hopeful and potential to go to the college football playoff. And we're going to have to sit here at 7-5, 8-4, whatever it ends up being, and not only swallow the fact that we've lost this game multiple years in a row now, but that Iowa State is a program on the rise, and Iowa doesn't feel like that.
It kind of feels like the Iowa program under Kirk Ferentz back in the early mid-2000s with what Matt
Absolutely.
Campbell is doing, or late 2000s.
And it didn't happen as quickly for Campbell as it did for Ferentz, but he built the program in a very
God, what a
similar
coach.
way.
Great coach.
Absolutely.
Great coach and a really good team. Iowa had a chance to win it, and it happened again. For the 10th straight time against a ranked team, Iowa falls 16-13. We appreciate you listening to Instant Iowa.
We do.
Our presenting sponsor, Fareway Meat and Grocery. Man, I could eat some raw meat right now. Raw meat. I'm that hungry.
And you know what? If it kills me,
So at least we don't have to watch this Iowa offense again, right?
there it is.
Right. Thanks to everybody for watching, for listening, for consuming, for commiserating.
For coming out yesterday, man. We had 4 live shows,
It's been
and we
such
had
a
crowds
fun
at every
couple of
one of
days.
them. It's been awesome. This is to see this company. You've been here for 3 years. I've only been here for a year, but to see it like grow in the way it has, to see the way people have embraced us, it's just been really, really cool.
You're a big part of it, brother. Thank you.
Go Hawks.
And thanks to everybody else. We'll see you
Go Hawks.
next Saturday, God willing,
Late night.
for another edition of Instant Iowa after Iowa blows out UMass and then starts gaslighting us
Gronowski
again.
for Heisman.
It is, unfortunately, once again, a Cyclone State.
God.